Bitcoin putting in a little bounce right now, but is this relief just a facade? Cardano doing much of the same, confirmation still yet to come. In this video, I'm going to break down the Bitcoin and Cardano charts and discuss exactly what we need to watch for. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. There it is on the 6-hour chart, a bounce, a nice little bounce. Twitter's in a good mood today. It's nothing new, but we've seen these bounces, and we can be optimistic, and we're going to break down what we need to watch for, but we have to be very, very careful right now. So I tweeted this. I just want to underline this video with this. The fear of missing out will sweep over the crypto markets in the second half of this bull market bigger than 2017. The reason I'm underlining this tweet is because this is my sentiment. I think we're in the middle of this bull market, and I want to just preface everything that we're about to talk about. And this is the weekly, and this is just too cool. First off, look at the weekly candle right there. Look at that wick on the weekly candle. This could turn into something very, very nice. This could turn into a macro reversal that we'll look back historically on and say, wow. And check this out right at that area. So the bull market high to the bear market low, we're talking 2017 to 2018. And we have this area we've been watching on the charts, this 1618 area on the macro. Bitcoin wicking below it, bouncing off of it once again. And that is a very interesting sign. I don't know if that's going to continue to hold that line, but this is just one data point on this screen that leads me to believe that we're still in the middle of this bull market amongst many other things. On the macro scale, with the same Fibonacci and the cycles of Bitcoin, we had a very similar bounce off of the 1618 in the middle of the last bull market. And you know I talk about this all the time. So that's number one. Look at the bounce on the weekly. If we open up the weekly RSI, you can just see it's been consolidating a little bit right here in this general area. We're obviously way out of overbought. What we want to see is Bitcoin get a nice bounce, and we want to kind of get out of this territory. This is bear market territory historically. I mean, just right here is the bottom of the bear market. And you can see Bitcoin made its way into this territory. So we want to see a really nice bounce, if we can, out of this area, overextension away. The stock RSI signaling very oversold for some time right now on that quicker moving momentum oscillator. But let's dig in a little bit. The head and shoulders we talked about in yesterday's video, the case for it, right? We discussed 50% of the time a pattern like this in a bull market. 51% of the time, I believe it is, will hit its target. And we talked about the case for a busted head and shoulders, which is coming back up through the neckline, Bitcoin making a move to not only the head and the all-time high, but 10% above that area, around $72,000. That's 100% in play right now. But what I want to talk about is the short term. We're all watching the short term, and this is the concern, right? We get these bounces. They happen, and they happen all the time, and they've been happening all the time. And if you look back on social media sentiment, I bet you every one of these little bounces, you can just see the positive vibes on crypto Twitter. And nothing is new today. So we're 100% not out of the woods, unfortunately, on the short-term charts. But we have areas we can wait for that could say, wow, Bitcoin's doing something different this time. Maybe there's something here. And this is what we want to watch for. A couple different things. Number one, there's obviously on the very short term a clear downtrend from June 29th, and we're going on probably around 3 weeks now. A clear upper trend line downtrend, right? You know, a few touches to the upper trend line. That's a resistance area, but confluent with that area, we have a Fibonacci, that last swing high touch. You know, one of those little bounces to this more volatile swing low that we just put in, breaking below 30,000. And we have a Fibonacci retracement, a Fibonacci resistance. It's the 786 around 33,500 to the 618 around 32,600. And notice, confluent with that is that trend line. So this truly is the area for Bitcoin to break, where if we get a break above an extension even, right? 5-10% extension above that area, then we're talking about, hey, bullish confirmation. We're starting to see reversal confirmation, at least in the short term, because when you go back to the daily and charts like that, we're gonna have to chart larger resistance areas which would be this right shoulder high of that head and shoulders, which is that swing high, to this swing low, which is actually in June, the end of June. And Bitcoin really needs to work its way back up to this resistance. And this is a midterm reversal confirmation, 36,300 to 38,500 or so. So Bitcoin has a ways to go. This is the very beginning of what it could look like. And when you look at it demonstrated on the weekly chart, doesn't look bad, does it? Bouncing right off of that macro 1618 line. If Bitcoin can close above this 50-week moving average, right around 32,200, not that far above right now. I mean, it's like $400. Is going to be a very, very good thing for Bitcoin. So time will tell. We will track it. We will see. Want to pivot over to Cardano. Same thing on Cardano. We're getting a weekly bounce. This candle could close nicely. I mean, we have 4 days, 9 hours for these weekly candles. We have to be patient. It's going to be very, very fun next 4 days, 9 hours. That's for sure. But look at this candle about to turn green for Cardano. Can the trend continue? Can this turn green? I mean, we're like a penny away from turning green here on the weekly. Ultimately, the goal for Cardano is to get back above that 137 area, which is the 20-week moving average for Cardano. And that's a very important part for Cardano. What I want to just show you also is the RSI, the momentum oscillator we looked at for Bitcoin on the weekly. You can see Cardano on the weekly. The similarities to me are so key in terms of the Shelly hard fork consolidation, 50% dip or so under the 20-week moving average before blast off, right? Same vicinity on the RSI right now. Same vicinity here on the RSI. Obviously under the 200-week moving average. Can we consolidate below it, get blast off, potentially going into smart contracts? That's huge. I tweeted a little bit ago. I just said ADA was very oversold short term. This bounce is great to watch, but normal, even in continued downtrend. And again, just like Bitcoin, we have to be careful for Cardano. We have to wait for true reversal confirmation, which would be a breakthrough resistance, just like every other lower high this whole time. Patient, unemotional. I got this this comment from Radigi. Hey Dan, noticed a falling wedge pattern in the daily from a candle body to candle body. Wicks help, but the body shows the strength. So I like this tweet a lot because I think maybe subconsciously I've seen this on the charts. I don't typically use body closes and opens for patterns. I usually use wicks, because I really like to track the volatility of the markets. I feel like it captures more of the emotion around the markets. But I like his tweet because there is that battle of, do you track candle closes and opens, or do you track the wicks? And he charted a really nice kind of scenario, which is using the close and opens of these candles to chart a pattern. And you can see it is a falling wedge. And so basically, confluent with what I've been charting, I really like the confluence of these two patterns, right? We have this falling wedge pattern, the breakout target probably right around a $2 range if Cardano is to break that area. The breakout target for the descending triangle probably closer to the $2.30 range if Cardano is going to break up to the upside. But either way, two bullish targets to the upside, falling wedge, and the descending triangle that we've been tracking. Upper trend line right around $1.26, $1.27 as of today. That's a 10-cent move for Cardano. Cardano could be testing this upper trend line very soon. But again, the story remains the same. We've bounced off of $1. There was risk of a break to the downside, target to the downside around 50 cents or so. But the long-term story here of Cardano at $1, it just held once again. Is this going to keep happening? Are we going to really zoom out on the charts in the future and historically see that dollar just held and we continued into this bull market? Remember, smart contracts up here in September. Remember the story that we're trying to track right here. Mary hard fork. What happened before that? Gains. Shelly hard fork. What happened before that? Gains. Here's Alonzo hard fork. Don't know exact date, but somewhere in that general vicinity, I would say. What will happen before that? Will it be gains? Going to the 6 hour, I did a video yesterday. I won't show a clip, but this is just me talking about the lower high resistance areas Cardano just has failed. And this was actually a couple days ago. Cardano failed to break these areas, and we go to the 6 hour chart and we see there it is. It has failed. And so we're getting a bounce. We're not out of the woods just yet. We have to be very patient and unemotional in this environment. And if we look at Cardano right now, What we want to track is a new Fibonacci. That's that last upper trend line touch right here. And this was July 4th to this swing low that we just bounced off of. And we have another resistance area. So we're just tracking all of these on the screen. This is the most important, newest one, I would say. And we can see resistance, $1.31 to $1.39. We have a ways to go before even getting there. In terms of what that looks like, that would be from where Cardano is right now, a 10 to, 17, 18% move to the upside to get to that area. And then we need to get some overextension from that area. So ultimately, the bounce would be a bounce of 30 plus percent, 40 plus percent. And, this is crypto. That's nothing if we're going to enter an uptrend. It really is nothing. Remember, Cardano's up right now, I think, around 500% for the year or something like that. So on the short term, what we can track is we want to get to that resistance. It could be a little bit of a journey to get there. We want to just be mindful and aware that, we could get a pullback and we could just test a higher low from this low, right? So, a Fibonacci higher low area would look like, let's see, from where we are right now, at least, if we hit exact resistance right now, we'd look for a higher low, $1.07, $1.04. But this little rally could continue, and we might get resistance a little bit later than that. But ultimately, maybe we see something like this inverse head and shoulders set up, and we have that breakout target, which would be through the resistance we want to see broken. That's that bullish confirmation on the short-term chart that we're watching for. Be careful. We're in the apex of this descending triangle. Anything can happen. Be extremely, extremely mindful of all the possibilities. I appreciate all of you cruising by. Hit the subscribe and like. Thank you so much for coming by today. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.